Hey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're going to be taking it easy on you a little bit. We're going to be talking about AI today and also um, one of the features of direct mail, two of the features of direct mail, and why you should be using it. Okay, so here we go. But first, let's get over to Tom Fishburne, The Fear of AI. And the two kids are carving scary pumpkins. It's the look my parents get whenever someone brings up what AI will do to their jobs. Same. Yeah. Are the kids worried? Probably not. Was I worried about computers when I came out of college and I was the only one who understood them? No. You know, and we managed to make it somehow. Somehow or other, we managed to figure out things we could do with computers that were going to benefit mankind, I hope. Okay, so a recent survey from Funnel and Raven Research found that 64% of marketers fear AI will replace their jobs in the next 5 years, which isn't very long. And 3/4 worry that AI will impact their pay or their value. And that's something that that may be worse. With inflation, it seems like everything at the grocery store is twice what it was 2 years ago. So you're really making half as much right now. So magic, isn't it magic? So whether or not we're feeling that fear ourselves, members of our team likely are. That's something to remember. Okay. So if you're thinking of how to lead through a time of transformation, I don't think the human side of technology adoption gets enough attention, Tom says. I've always liked these acronyms. Fear equals false evidence appearing real, future evidence already ruined, and F everything and run. Where do you run to? I didn't like gardening as a kid. I don't know that I could fend for myself effectively. They remind me that the distorting impact and effect that fear can have on my own decision making. It's hard to see the reality of a situation when I'm coming at it from a place of fear. Well, you're not helping us any, Tom. You're making a scary cartoon here. Okay. A couple weeks ago, I wrote about the double-edged sword of AI adoption. In the study of how its consultants use AI, or ChatGPT, BCG found a wide variety in the results, depending on the type of task. In creative product innovation, and I wish we had a little more of a description on what that is exactly, GPT-4 boosted performance by 40%, which is amazing. My guess is that that's about new features you could put on a product, new things you could add. They're always adding new things. The trouble is they usually take away something I wanted to add something I don't. In business problem solving, GPT-4 dropped performance by 23%. And again, how do you measure that? You can rarely A/B split strategy. The homogeneous output of GPT-4 reduced diversity of thought by 41%. So I figure I've got a few more weeks left since my diversity of thought. Why is it I'm usually thinking in a place that nobody else is, for good or ill? So if you want more opinions, it's really experimentation that's the key. Scott Adams explained that you may not be able to, AI may not be able to create the best image or the best ad, but it can create 100 ads, and you can split test them and let the market decide which one's best. So which is better? A human that's going to come up with a pretty good ad, or a dozen okay ads that we can split test? Okay. In my article on the Trump campaign in 2016, that was literally what they did. They tested thousands, hundreds of thousands of ads and offers in thousands of neighborhoods, and based on that work, they figured out what was working where and leveraged that with machine learning. Really did. So according to this thing, my stream is reset, but it doesn't seem to be flowing. We'll put up, oh yeah, there it goes. We'll put up the show one way or the other. You know I can manage that. So AI and the future of work, and this is from the same month. I called this meeting to talk about how AI could handle things that waste our time at work. Carol, any ideas to start? Hello, I am an AI large language model that Carol asked to handle this meeting for her. I think he should have said, hello, this is Carol. There are many ways that AI could handle things at work that waste our time. That seems to be the way it always starts out, right? There are many things that waste our time, and I can tell you all of them. Okay, let's transform our entire entire business using generative AI I just used to write a poem about my dog. Right, okay. So then I ran into this on the hustle. The Eliza effect, or why we love bots. Do you think of Siri as your friend? That's the Eliza effect. Okay. So Juliet writes, I asked my Google Nest Mini to tell me the weather and the news. Then I thank her for doing so, even though I know it's a machine. And yes, I do refer to it as her, because it talks with a female voice despite knowing that it has no gender. So technically you're misgendering your Nest. I'm sure that Siri or whatever, Google, isn't offended. It's one of the benefits of it. They don't get offended. They shouldn't, I think. When humans project human traits onto machines, it's called the Eliza effect. And who is Eliza? This was fascinating. In the 1960s, okay, 60s, I wasn't even in high school yet. You think I'm old, but I'm not that old. Professor Joseph Weizenbaum developed a chatbot called Eliza, which posed as a therapist, and it used the interactive techniques of Carl Rogers. And if you told Eliza you were sad, it might ask you how long you've been sad and why. Weisbaum expected people to realize these interactions were superficial, yet found that even short interactions could lead people to believe it was intelligent. Weissenbaum once said even his secretary fell for Eliza's charms, asking him to leave the room when she talked with it. This disturbed Weizenbaum. You know, in those days, they didn't keep track of what you said. You know, nowadays they would have a whole psychological profile built on you. This disturbed Weizenbaum, who went on to openly decry man's reliance on computers until his death in 2008, which was nothing compared to now. 50% of respondents on a Vice survey responded that they could imagine falling in love with a chatbot. And research suggests that AI companions could ease loneliness. Experts warn about our willingness to trust and befriend machines, that it could do a lot of stuff. A man recently claimed his AI girlfriend. The fact that he even claimed he had an AI girlfriend is something. Encouraged him to assassinate the Queen of England. I wonder who's programming that bot. Okay, Replica is an AI companion company. Several users said they'd fallen in love with their bots, only to be devastated when the company changed their personalities. Right. You know, it sort of happens after you get married. One of my mentors said, you know, you think you marry this sweet, quiet young lady, and then she's telling you what's wrong with you. Yeah, and vice versa. You know, you got to admit, right? We try to fool it. We promise them the moon and all the success in the world, and that we'll be billionaires in AI. And then we end up on doing live streams in a dark office. Here's some of the programming of Eliza. If the input matches first bunch of words you, second bunch of words me. So whatever they put in, you you said blunk and respond with what makes you think. It's unbelievable. It's such simple stuff. And if the input matches, you are describing Eliza, then you respond with, so I'm in the same bunch of words. Am I? Me translates to you, my translates to your, etc. And here's an example of one of the original runs from 1966. How do you do? Please state your problem. I spend too much time with computers. Why do you mention computers? You are one. Does it please you to believe I'm one? Yes. You seem quite positive. I suppose I am. How long have you been? 31 years. I'm not sure I understand you fully. Join the club. This lame effort won first prize in an AI contest in 2001. Okay. My name is Judge 05. It's good to meet you, Judge 05. You too. What's your name? Bless you. My name is Alice. Good morning, Alice. It goes on. Anyway. But people do get fooled. And here's some stories about this stuff. So that's in the thing. Okay, so yesterday we did our dress rehearsal. I'm on a panel about data and data silos and how to get other departments working as a team. And my big suggestion is don't ask them to work as a team. You can come if you're an ANA member, then you can sign up there for tomorrow's session. It's pretty much all day. I think I'm on at about noon. And if you're not an ANA member, then you can message me and let me know, and I can probably get you to at least attend my session if you want as a guest. So happy to do that. It ought to be very, very entertaining. But yesterday I was talking about the article that I'd written because Lisa asked me to, and I suggested that only direct mail gives you a null, it gives you an engaged non-buyer. Everybody knows who the buyers are. Some people think they know who the ad is in front of, but only in mail do we know that the recipient received it. We know who they are. We know they received it. We know they're a decision maker. We know that they made a decision. They had to engage with it. They had to touch it. They had to throw it away. Even if all they do is throw it away, it's more engagement. But I thought this was funny because live sports viewers need new short sports content. Almost 60% say they don't even know where to watch the sports. I agree. Even the football is on a different channel every time. It used to be Sunday afternoon you watched pro football. Not anymore. Or Saturday afternoon you watched, or you at least listened to the Badger game. Not anymore. It's all over the place. There was a golden age a few years ago where I could get it out of satellites out of Europe with a bit of hacking and Linux to protect my computer, and you could pretty much get anything. But nowadays, that seems to be mostly broken. It's not worth the trouble to get the feed. But you used to get them, and they didn't even include commercials, which is why I brought up this thing. So what's going on is that that the sports broadcasters are worried because 57% of consumers, 2,500 in this survey, which is a big number, say they regularly browse the internet while they're watching live sports. And I was laughing because the Badger game was on Saturday evening against Ohio State. I didn't have many expectations for the Badgers, but they did actually beat the spread by a half a point. only losing by 14 when the line was 14 and a half. So if you bet on Ohio State, ha 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 ha, the Badgers did better than expected. But it just moves so slowly, and the biggest plays are either called back because of the officials or given because they call pass interference on a big pass that was dropped, and those are the biggest plays. Seems like most of the time, or some breakaway run in college. That's not very frequent in pro, but it is in college, and so I keep the sound off, and I'm watching YouTube videos while I kind of glance at the screen. I have this big screen TV I got on Black Friday a couple of years ago. It's beautiful to watch, but I don't pay a bit of attention to the commercials, except sometimes I see a commercial that I've talked about a couple of weeks before. And so I'm, you can track that I'm watching it. Well, in this case, I'm watching broadcast TV, so you don't know that you don't know what I don't think but my TV's hooked up to my Wi-Fi, so maybe it does tell you that I'm watching that show. It probably does. Okay, fine. Do you know how I'm watching it? Does it tell you that my sound is off? Does it tell you that I have a phone in my hand and I'm listening to a YouTube video at the same exact time? That's the reality. So even if you know that I'm watching, even if you know that I'm in the room, because the mute button is going on and off every now and then. If there's a big play, I turn the sound on. But basically, I'm not paying a bit of attention to the game. I'm just sitting there watching YouTube. And so you don't know that I have zero engagement with your ad, right? So, but with mail, see, in all other media, digital, social, broadcast, every other medium throws itself away. You're going down the road. If you don't see the billboard, you go by it. If you see it, you still go by it. It's gone. If you ignore it, it's gone. If you don't ignore it, it's still gone. And a lot of times I'm frustrated because the billboard goes by so fast I can't see what it's doing. So my point is that only mail gives you the engaged non-buyer. Here's a short article. Well, it's a very long article. Reaching college students. They found that at FSU, they found that most people weren't engaged. Not most. 40% of students weren't engaging in on-campus events, which is a big part of going to college. And one of the things they did down here, which I thought was brilliant, way down in the article, is they did a direct mail campaign sending a personalized postcard to students' home addresses. Okay? And reach jumped 637%. And in September of this year, they got 6,500 shares of their posts. If you want to get, they have stickers with QR on them. If you want to get engagement on your web, go offline. Go to print. They did door hangers in the dorms, makes a lot of sense, but they also did direct mail. And you direct mail veterans out there, if you could get with colleges and say, hey, we know this stuff. Could we help you anywhere on campus? Could we help raise the engagement in the real world to overcome the Eliza effect? We're here to help. Give me a call, John, WDMA.org. The phone number's at the bottom. And let's do some mail that doesn't throw